You've shared your sources with us, and, well, our job, as always, is to dig in and pull out those key insights, that useful knowledge for you.
Exactly. We try to do it quickly, thoroughly, so you feel, enlightened, not just buried in information.
Definitely. And today, we're diving into this source you sent, English Speaking Course 1.pdf.
Hmm. It looks like a bit of a linguistic, maybe even a cultural treasure map. We're going to be exploring these everyday dialogues.
Yeah, trying to uncover some maybe surprising facts about English, but also those cultural things that sneak in.
Those nuances, right. Because language isn't just words.
Absolutely not. It's about how it's used, but
Yeah.
in real life.
Hmm.
Grocery stores, cafes, chatting with friends. This source actually gives us a great mix of
It
scenarios.
really does. A good cross-section.
Okay, so where do we start? What jumps out first as particularly revealing?
Well, food seems like a good place to begin. It's universal, right? And these sections on grocery shopping and eating, they offer quite a lot, I think, on both language and culture.
Good call. Yeah, the first dialogue is about cereal. And right away you see this conflict. Someone sees it's on sale,
Hmm.
but the other person is worried about all the sugar.
Exactly. It's not just about grabbing a box. It's this little window into how we balance, value for money versus maybe longer term health thoughts.
It's a constant calculation, isn't it? That
Yeah.
immediate appeal of a bargain versus,
Yeah.
well, what's actually in it?
Right. And marketing plays on that constantly, that tension.
Then it shifts to chips, and Sarah brings up cheat days. Max is trying to be healthy.
Healthy food only, I think he says.
Yeah. And Sarah explains this idea of a day off, a day for uh, less healthy food.
And the examples are classic, aren't they? Cheese, hamburger, pizza, and so on.
It tells you something about, well, certain cultural ideas around diet, maybe self-control.
Or maybe planned lack of self-control.
Perhaps. It's interesting psychologically, isn't it? The whole cheat day thing, it's pretty common in, like, Western dieting culture.
Mhm.
It suggests that being super strict all the time, well, it's hard. Yeah, maybe not sustainable for everyone.
So you plan these little indulgences, makes the long haul feel more doable, maybe. And those specific foods, pizza, burgers, they're very recognizable comfort or treat foods in many places.
Like a built-in pressure release valve.
Yeah,
Okay, and this idea, it carries over to the smoothie bar scene too.
it does. You've got the request for fresh smoothies, very virtuous sounding.
Strawberry, mango, then the green detox with spinach and kale. Sounds aggressively healthy.
Right. You feel healthier just reading it. But then contrasted with that is the chocolate peanut butter smoothie.
Nice, the fun one. They call it a treat, or even a cheat day in a cup.
See? The language itself frames it. Detox versus treat. It clearly signals how you're supposed to view each option.
And the snacks offered follow that logic too. Fresh baked cookies or fruit salad.
It's almost predictable, isn't it? You pick the green smoothie, you probably go for the fruit salad, you get the chocolate peanut butter. Well, those cookies might be calling your name a bit louder.
Definitely. It shows how our choices aren't always isolated. They kind of link together based on this narrative we have about health and indulgence.
Exactly. It's what the choices signify, not just the food itself.
Okay, let's shift from smoothies to the farmer's market. Different vibe here.
Definitely. More direct interaction. There's this lovely appreciation for fresh vegetables, fresh produce.
Yeah, and that specific detail, that the tomatoes are red and ripe. It makes it vivid.
It does. But then the focus shifts, doesn't it, to the price
Ah.
and a bit of negotiation.
Right, the bargaining starts at $10.
And immediately the buyer counters with $8. Classic move,
And the vendor comes back with $9, but justifies it. Says they were just picked this morning.
which is a great selling point, playing on that value of freshness. And it works.
It does. The buyer agrees, saying you can't get fresher than that. It's a neat little example of how perceived value shifts the negotiation.
Totally. And we also find out what they're buying it for a big salad, plus apples for a perfect snack later. Still got that health theme underlying things.
So yeah, these food scenarios, they're more than just vocab practice. You get these little insights into attitudes about health, treats, value, even how people interact economically in different settings. Like, you probably wouldn't bargain like that in a big supermarket.
Not usually, no. It's a different context, different expectations.
Okay, so from food, let's talk tech.
Mhm.
The electronic store scene. Buying a laptop for school.
Ah, yes. This one felt very familiar. The user admitting they don't know much about tech. Many of us have been there, right? Feeling a bit lost.
Totally. Overwhelmed by the specs and jargon.
But the salesperson starts smart, asks, Are you looking for something simple or more powerful?
Yeah, avoids the tech speak initially, tries to gauge the actual need.
And the user's need is pretty clear. Studying, maybe light gaming, not too expensive, good parameters.
So the suggestion is a laptop that's cheap and great for studying, but can also handle some games.
And here's a key language point. The user asks what handle means in this context.
Right, because handle usually means, physically hold something.
Exactly. But here, it's taken on this specific tech meaning. Capacity, support. Can it run the software? The salesperson clarifies, it can support gaming without any problems.
It's a great example of how words shift meaning depending on the field, and why it's okay to ask, wait, what does that word mean here?
Absolutely crucial. Don't just nod along. Asking for clarification is key to real understanding. And it works out, the user feels better about the choice.
Good communication helps. Okay, next up, back to the grocery store, but this time asking for help. Finding baking powder.
And the first thing is that struggle to remember the word, that tip of the tongue feeling, so universal, especially learning a language.
Oh, definitely. But the store employee is great. Doesn't just wave vaguely.
No, very specific. Right here on the shelf. Direct, helpful, reassuring if you're feeling a bit lost.
And then they make that little bit of small talk. Are you baking something today?
Yeah, that little touch of, friendly interaction makes it less purely transactional.
Turns out, yes, baking a cake, which leads to needing flour.
Conveniently located on the shelf below the baking powder shelf. Good store layout.
Logical stocking.
Yeah.
But then the employee makes an observation.
Ah, yes. By the way, is this your first time baking?
And the user admits it. Yes, and I'm so nervous. That vulnerability is really relatable.
It is, and it leads to the friend's advice, which is another language point. The friend says to wing it.
Which, of course, the user doesn't understand. What does wing it mean?
And the explanation comes to try without following exact steps or recipes. Basically, improvise.
It's a great idiom.
Yeah.
Shows that sometimes there's this cultural okayness with, not following the rules exactly, especially for something informal like baking at home, maybe.
Could be. It definitely shows language learning is more than just words and grammar. It's these phrases, these idioms that add color and, confusion sometimes.
True. But the user seems willing to try.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Souvenirs. And bargaining again.
Yes, at the souvenir stall. Drawn to the cute magnets, wants one for mom.
Initial price, $4. And the immediate question, can you bargain here? Shows an awareness that, in some places, prices aren't fixed.
Right. They understand the context. So they try for $3.
But the seller counters with $3.50, that classic back and forth.
And then another language clarification moment. The user asks about the phrase, how about?
How about $3.50?
Yeah, what does that structure signal?
And the explanation is simple. It means they're giving you a different price. It's part of the negotiation language. Understanding these little phrases helps you follow along.
Definitely. And in the end, they agree to $3.50. The justification. It's not too expensive, and mom will love it because it's unique.
Which shows how personal value, that emotional connection, can influence the final decision, even more than saving 50 cents perhaps.
Yeah, it captures the whole bargaining process neatly. Offer, counteroffer, understanding the language cues, and then the final decision based on price and perceived value.
A nice little microcosm. Okay, let's grab a coffee. The cafe scene. This feels like a really common hurdle for language learners. Anna says she's nervous about ordering in English.
Yeah, what if I say something wrong? It's such a common fear. But Mike is supportive, offers to help. That's important.
Definitely. So the barista starts with a standard, polite greeting. Good morning. What can I get for you today?
And Anna's first attempt is simple. I want coffee.
Understandable, but yeah, needs more detail. Which the barista prompts for. What kind of coffee would you like?
And this is where the helpful part really kicks in. The barista lists options: espresso, latte, cappuccino, and americano.
But doesn't just list them, gives definitions.
Exactly. Clear, simple definitions. Espresso, strong and small. Latte has milk and is creamy. Cappuccino has foam on top. Americano, like black coffee.
That is super useful, like a mini coffee 101 right there at the counter.
Invaluable, really. Helps you order with confidence next time.
So Anna picks a latte. Then comes the next potential confusion.
Size. Right. The barista offers small, medium, and large, but also throws in the Starbucks terms: tall, grande, and venti.
And he even explains venti. Says it's Italian for 20, and it's the largest size.
Which is fascinating, right? how a brand's specific language can become sort of common knowledge, and how it borrows from other languages, too.
Yeah, it really shows that linguistic blending. And it goes for medium. Then the next question.
For here or to go, another standard choice point in cafes.
And the explanation of to go, you take it away, crucial distinction.
Definitely. Anna decides to have it here, then asks for some sugar.
And gets directed to the self-service station with options listed. Sugar, honey, and sweeteners. Good practical info about how cafes often work.
And then Mike orders, and you can see he's learned from watching Anna's interaction. A cappuccino, please. Medium for here. Simple, clear, follows the pattern.
Nice demonstration of learning by observation. Though Anna then jokes about her goldfish brain.
Forgetting self-service station momentarily. We've all been there with new vocab.
Yeah. But Mike clarifies it again. The place where you can add sugar, stir your drink, or grab napkins. Reinforces the term and the concept.
And it ends positively, with Anna feeling more confident for next time. It's a good example of navigating an everyday task with a bit of help.
Yeah, that whole cafe exchange is packed with useful stuff. Types of coffee, sizes, common questions, the process. Really practical.
Very much so. A microcosm of service interactions.
Okay, let's move into more personal spaces. The family breakfast scene.
Ah, yes. Straight into a bit of playful conflict. Child wants cereal.
But the parent says, nope, we're having pancakes today. Classic family negotiation starting point.
Totally. The parent teases a bit about getting all the delicious pancakes themselves. Lighthearted banter.
Which, of course, makes the child immediately want pancakes, too. But with a condition.
Chocolate syrup. But only if they also eat a banana. Quintessential parenting move. That little bargain.
Balancing the treat with something healthy, and then dad appears, needing his morning coffee.
Only to find disaster. They're out of coffee powder.
A mini crisis. And the daughter suggests milk instead. Her reasoning.
Milk is good for your bones. She's clearly picked up that health message somewhere.
Right. But dad's need is different. He jokes he needs something that's good for my brain.
It's funny, but it highlights those different needs and perspectives within a family. The child's learned health fact versus the adult's perceived need for caffeine.
A nice little snapshot of family dynamics and differing priorities.
Indeed. Okay, next scene. Baking together. This feels warmer, more collaborative.
Yeah, dad comes home, finds the family making chocolate cupcakes for the school affair.
And his reaction is great immediate enthusiasm. Can I help?
Yeah.
Creates that positive shared activity vibe.
Gets assigned the job of stirring with a gentle reminder to slow down.
Common advice when kids or enthusiastic dads are involved in baking. Then he helps pour the batter into the cupcake liners.
And gets the instruction not to overfill them. Practical tip. It shows everyone getting involved in the process.
Fosters that sense of teamwork, doesn't it? And the shared anticipation, hope they turn out delicious.
Yeah, that positive feeling of creating something together. A simple but, bonding moment.
Waiting for the magic in the oven.
All right, let's head outdoors. The weekend picnic.
Setting the scene. Nice spot in the park, lots of shade, near the playground. Sounds ideal.
But immediately, the child spots the ice cream truck. Of course.
Naturally. Leading to that familiar parental line, treat after lunch, managing expectations, teaching a bit of patience.
Yeah. And the picnic basket contents are very traditional. Sandwiches, some fruit, and the favorite, chocolate chip cookies.
With the rule explicitly stated, cookies are for after lunch. Reinforces the structure, even on a fun outing.
And the planned activities add to the picture. Playing soccer, taking photos for grandma and grandpa.
Shows the purpose, right? Family fun, sharing moments with extended family, too. It's a picture of kind of wholesome family time. Yeah, valuing that quality time together. Simple pleasures outdoors.
Okay, back indoors for family movie night. Another staple. The big question. Who's ready to pick a movie?
Which immediately signals potential disagreement.
Exactly. We see the different tastes emerge. Someone wants a funny cartoon.
Someone else wants an action movie.
And then the attempt at compromise.
Yeah.
Maybe something with a bit of both.
And the specific examples ground it. Toy Story loved, but maybe seen too much. Shrek, they haven't seen the third one yet, shows shared history with these films.
Definitely part of a shared cultural landscape. And crucially, popcorn is mentioned.
Essential. Can't have movie night without popcorn, apparently. It elevates the snack to ritual status.
Right. And then the comfort prep. Getting blankets and pillows, making the couch super comfy, creating that cozy atmosphere.
It really captures that family negotiation, finding common ground for shared leisure, and making the home environment part of the enjoyment.
Very relatable scene. Okay, next is dinner time and catching up about the school day.
Starts with excitement about a cool science experiment.
The classic baking soda and vinegar volcano. That erupted.
And the child even offers a simple explanation. The mix made gas. Shows they grasped the basic idea.
Yeah, sharing that learning experience. And the detail about a friend getting it on video, very modern touch. Documenting everything.
True, but the conversation shifts, doesn't it, to the less exciting part of the day.
Yep. Math was hard today, specifically fractions.
A very common struggle point for kids. And the response is supportive. Offer of help after dinner.
And also acknowledging the teacher will explain again tomorrow, using both home and school support systems.
Shows that teamwork approach to tackling learning challenges. Good modeling.
Okay, let's look at planning the weekend. Here we see that dynamic of different energy levels or desires in a relationship.
One person suggests going hiking, active, outdoorsy.
The other person, more like, I just want to relax, catch up on sleep. Also very relatable.
Totally. But they navigate it through compromise. The hiker suggests the other could come along, making it a shared thing.
And pitches it well, describes the trail. An hour from here, not too difficult, amazing views. Trying to make it appealing.
Adding the idea of packing a picnic, fruit, and drinks, specifically apples and juice, sweetens the deal further, makes it more of an outing.
And they agree on a time, 8 a.m. So, commitment made.
Then the practicalities. Comfortable shoes, sunscreen, maybe a hat. Essential planning for a hike. Ensures they're prepared.
Shows that balance between spontaneity and necessary preparation for certain activities.
Right. Okay, next scenario, going to the park, but the focus here is different.
Yeah, shifts to gossip. Starts casually, have some juicy news.
And uses that very current slang. Spill the tea. Everyone knows what that means now.
Pretty much. And the gossip itself is standard office fare. Sarah from accounts dating Tom from marketing. Met with surprise.
Then the extra layers for previous relationships. Amy liking Tom. Potential drama.
Classic workplace dynamics. But then there's a conscious choice made.
Yes, to forget about the office gossip and enjoy the fresh air. A deliberate shift away from the potentially negative topic.
A healthy boundary, maybe.
Yeah.
It shows how gossip works socially, but also how you can choose not to get pulled in too deep.
A good point. It illustrates both the function and the choice involved.
Okay, visiting friends. Emma and Leo's new apartment.
Nice, positive descriptions. Cozy, nice living room, big kitchen, a lot of natural light. All desirable home qualities.
Very standard positive adjectives for a place.
Yeah.
And the gift.
A plant. A very traditional housewarming gift, isn't it? Symbolizing growth, life.
Yep. And they mention an upcoming housewarming party. The standard way to celebrate and show off the new place. A very typical social ritual.
Exactly. Straightforward and positive interaction.
Similar vibe with watching movies at home with a friend. Simple invitation, easy agreement.
Suggestion is for a comedy. Wanting to laugh, setting a light mood.
Mention of a specific new film, Friends on a Crazy Adventure. Give a concrete idea.
And the offer to help with snacks, even though popcorn's ready. Just being considerate.
Yeah. Another example of relaxed, enjoyable social time. Low stakes, easy interaction.
Okay, back to chores. Weekend chores.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Waking up the reluctant son. You can sleep after you clean your room. Every parent has said some version of that, surely.
Probably. And the tasks are laid out clearly. Division of labor.
Son does his room, Anna the living room. Dad vacuums and does windows. Mom the kitchen, then gardening together. Shows a structured approach to household tasks.
And the son's reaction, ugh, there goes my Sunday. A bit dramatic, but captures that feeling of weekend chores versus weekend fun.
Perfectly. Okay, reading books, a conversation about a mystery novel.
And the fun part, trying to guess who did it, leads to those classic, almost cliche guesses.
The butler, the neighbor, even the cat. All mystery tropes.
Shows a shared understanding of the genre's conventions. And the friend who's finished the book plays along, refuses to spoil it.
Right, just offers vague clues. Teasing.
And advises patience. Find the culprit yourself. Don't spoil the fun. Highlights the enjoyment of the reading process, the puzzle-solving aspect.
Yeah, it's about the social side of reading, too. Sharing the excitement, the speculation, but respecting the individual experience.
Nicely put. Okay, kitchen again. Cooking together. Pasta time.
Enthusiasm high. A special recipe. And the secret. It's all in the sauce. creates a little mystique.
And that playful argument starts. Is the sauce store-bought or practically homemade? A common point of pride for home cooks.
Totally. Then the sides?
Hmm.
Salad. Enough to make it look healthy. Love that honesty. And crucially, garlic bread.
Seems non-negotiable. The anticipation of a feast really emphasizes the joy of cooking and eating together.
Collaboration, creation, and then enjoyment. A very positive cycle.
Definitely highlights the social aspect of food preparation and consumption.
Okay, outside for gardening. Starts with a bit of hesitation, uncertainty about skills.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have a green thumb. Many beginners feel that way. But the task is presented as simple. Planting tomatoes.
Described as easy, dig a hole, drop the seed, cover it, breaks it down, makes it seem less daunting.
Exactly. Demystifies it. And the shared plan, watering together, maybe making tomato soup later if it works out, gives a shared goal and a potential reward.
Shows how you can approach new skills in manageable steps.
Right. Next is painting and drawing. Kids' art activities.
We get the dragon drawing that maybe looks more like a lizard with wings. Sparks some sibling teasing.
Typical. Good-natured ribbing alongside the creative work. Another child is working on an art project, maybe just stick figures.
And the parent steps in with encouragement. Plus, the classic motivator.
Ice cream if they finish up. Time-honored tradition.
Yeah. Captures that mix of creativity, sibling interaction, and parental encouragement, and bribery.
A snapshot of family life. Okay, playing musical instruments. Focus on school band auditions.
Instruments mentioned, drums and trumpet. Both, potentially.
Yeah.
Loud.
Which leads to the encouragement, but also that humorous warning. Practice all you want, but maybe not day and night. And think of the neighbors.
Yeah. Balancing enthusiasm with, community living. Shows support for hobbies, but with practical considerations.
Right. Okay, swimming. Invitation to the pool.
Met with hesitation. Oh, it's been a while. Understandable reluctance after a break from an activity.
But the reassurance comes. It's like riding a bike. Plus an offer of tips. Supportive friendship.
Then the practical details. Meet around 4 p.m. Bring swimsuit, a towel, sunscreen, maybe water. Essential info.
And we learn the inviter swims regularly, twice a week for exercise and relaxation. Explains their motivation.
Shows how friends encourage activity and the different reasons people exercise.
Another outdoor activity, hiking. This time near the lake.
Details given. About a 2-hour hike, some steep parts, but the view makes it worth it. Sets expectations.
Meeting time agreed. 8 a.m. at the trailhead. Early start.
Essentials listed again. Good hiking shoes, water and snacks. And this time, a packed lunch is added. Suggests a slightly longer outing.
Highlights that appeal of nature, but also the need for proper planning and gear for a more demanding activities.
Definitely. Okay, running. A group taking a break.
And sharing how they feel. Good, but need to stretch. Someone else is tired, legs are sore. Very relatable post-run feelings.
Sensible decision. Walk slowly, stretch, listening to their bodies.
And they notice their surroundings. The park, tall trees, people with dogs, appreciating the environment.
Which leads to the idea, we should bring my dog next time, making it even more social.
Yeah. Then the final push, let's finish strong, and the reward mentioned. Pizza, motivation.
Captures that group dynamic support, shared effort, shared reward.
Right. Now a slightly different running context. Running at the gym. A first-timer feeling nervous.
Understandable. Gyms can be intimidating, but there's guidance offered, reassurance.
Which is crucial. Suggestions are practical. Start with light cardio, treadmill, or stationary bike.
Clear instructions for the treadmill. Step on, press start, choose your speed. Makes it seem manageable.
Advice for weights is also cautious. Start small. Use machines that guide you. Sensible beginner tips.
Reassurance that trainers are available helps too. Reduces the fear of doing something wrong.
And the suggested duration, 30 minutes, mixing cardio and light weights, is a realistic, non-overwhelming start.
It really emphasizes that supportive, gradual approach needed when starting something new like a gym routine.
Absolutely. Helps build confidence and hopefully makes it stick.
Okay, our final scenario. Dancing. Ballet. Excitement mixed with nerves.
Specifically worried about remembering new steps and balancing on one foot. Common challenges in learning any physical skill requiring coordination.
But the solution proposed is proactive. Practice together. Ask the teacher for help. Taking initiative.
And there's positive reinforcement about the teacher being helpful. Good instruction makes a difference.
Plus that appreciation for the artistic side. The new music is very elegant. Connects to the aesthetic pleasure of dance.
Right. So looking back across all these, wow, it's quite a range of situations, isn't it?
It really is. from buying cereal to ballet class. It drives home how, language and culture are just woven together in everything we do.
Completely. We've seen shopping, eating, socializing, family stuff, hobbies, fitness. And in each one, there are these little clues about how English is used, yes, but also about the cultural norms underneath.
Yeah, some things really stood out. That whole cheat day idea popping up in different food contexts. It says something about maybe a flexible approach to rules or health.
It seems so. And the way the coffee types were defined so clearly, so simply, that was really practical, but also showed a kind of standardization of that knowledge in cafes.
And the bargaining. Even for a small magnet, it shows that interaction is possible, that cultural practice around negotiation.
And it's often in these like mundane, everyday dialogues that you find so much cultural information packed in, politeness levels, family roles, how help is offered or asked for.
Exactly. It's not just about the words. Understanding these interactions, these contexts, is really, I think, key to feeling comfortable and confident using English in the real world.
Couldn't agree more. It lets you navigate things more smoothly with more understanding of what's going on around you.
So that leads us to our final thought for you, listening. Thinking about all these different scenes we've touched on. What everyday English interaction are you most curious about? Is there a situation, maybe one you've been in or just wondered about, where you'd like to understand the language or the cultural nuances better?
Yeah, what kind of everyday situation sparks your curiosity? Maybe think about your own experiences, what felt confusing, what felt interesting.
Something to mull over. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing this source material with us. It's been genuinely fascinating to dive into the details of everyday English this way.
It really has. We hope this deep dive has given you some useful takeaways and maybe, spark some new questions too.